What is going on, Bunker family? It's your boy Yonko Atomic. I appreciate you guys all coming through to checking out my first YouTube video. And for those of you guys that are new here, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a husband and father. I'm a biker. I ride a 2019 Indian Scout Bobber. I'm a PC gamer. And I'm a small business owner. Today, we're going to talk about what we saw, what we rode, and most importantly, what we think about the 23 Mission City Indian Demo Day. So today I spent my morning and I got the opportunity to ride a handful of bikes. But I'm going to give you my opinion on my three favorite. The Indian Scout Rogue, the Indian Sports Chief, and the Indian FTR. I won't keep y'all waiting anymore. Let's drop a gear. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in and kick things off with the Indian Scout Rogue. And although I might have a personal bias with this bike, being that I am a Bobber owner, I often get caught referring to this bike as the Bobber 2.0. This bike is super responsive and packs a really good punch, but that's all because of the 69 cubic inch 100 horsepower V-twin. It's super smooth and responsive 6-speed transmission. This bike is perfect for a nice calm cruise or, you know, a nice ride down to Mexico. A lot of people go with this bike. A lot of people that end up going with the Bobber end up getting the parts from this bike because they work just seamlessly with the Bobber platform. The 10-inch mini apes give it that aggressive look, but you know, on the Bobber, those low handlebars, they really get to your back on long rides. You know, when you're heading out to the hill country, those low handlebars really do a number on your back. The 10-inch mini apes on the Rogue are just the chef's kiss. They're the chef's kiss to this bike. The quarter fairing, although I'm not a fan of fairings, I prefer my bikes naked. The quarter fairing, it gives it a nice look, and it does alleviate some wind resistance. Not much, obviously. You have a small quarter fairing. Don't expect it to block all your wind like some of those big baggers, you know, your street glides and your road glides and your sport chiefs and your all that. You know, it is not going to do all that, but it does of course alleviate some wind. The seat on it's super comfortable compared to the Bobber seat. I believe that the Indian Scout Rogue has the Syndicate Solo seat off the lot. And that seat, I personally have the Syndicate 2 up. I have my wife as passenger a lot of the times. But the Syndicate is a great seat to go with. It's super plush, super comfortable. You know, you can sit on it for hours without feeling the need to like, oh, you know, I don't know. You know, when you ride bikes for a good long while out in the hill country, or you take long rides with your buddies, you know, your butt starts to feel it, man. You start to feel assless after a little while. It comes with a lightweight cast aluminum frame and a low seat that makes it really well balanced. The bike is really well balanced. With a lot of other bikes that I've been on and I've test rode, I felt like, you know, you come to a stop and if you have your handlebars slightly crooked, you know, that bike wants to topple over real quick, and the Rogue doesn't have this problem. Honestly, it really doesn't. It's really well balanced and it's easy to maneuver, mostly because it has a low seat height, you know, which makes it really good for short riders like myself. I'm 5'6" on a good day, and I can flat foot this bike with ease. You know, with some of the bigger baggers, I have to kind of like lean my foot up, not quite exactly tiptoe, but I'm not exactly flat footed either. It has a small hidden USB port right under the speedometer, just to the right of it. You know, it's good for, you know, if you're the type of guy that likes having, you know, your phone mounted, all that good stuff. That's perfect for that. So I'm not much for, I don't have a quad lock or anything or ram mount. I like to enjoy my ride. I don't like, you know, being distracted while riding, so I don't really have my phone up there. And obviously each one of their models comes with an available ABS package. The ABS is really good for stopping power. I have that one on my Bobber, you know, because eventually you're gonna have to stop, guys. Eventually we're gonna have to stop, and it's nice to have ABS. It's a good option. It helps a lot. So those are my thoughts on the Indian Scout Rogue. I know, like I said, I'm really biased on this bike. I really love the Scout platform. I'm looking to get my second bike, and I'll tell you what, I'm not getting rid of my bobber. I love my bobber. A lot of the upgrades that I've done on my bobber have come from this bike. You know, from the friction zone. The friction zone is super easy to manipulate, you know, to the engine, to the throttle, to the everything. I mean, for a lot of people it might be an issue because it lacks a lot of creature comforts. It doesn't have cruise control, it doesn't have heated grips, it doesn't have touchscreen nav, it doesn't have anything like that. But I think that's what makes the bobber and the Rogue, you know, set apart from all the other bikes. Is this bike is just ready to go. This bike is no holds barred, no bullshit, just straight up you, the road, the bike, and just a great time, if I'm gonna be honest with you. So yeah, let's move on to the next bike. Here it is, the Indian Sports Chief. Let's stop and take a minute and look at this amazing bike. This bike is gorgeous, from the style to the look to the colors. They spent no expense to make this bike look phenomenal. I really like the look of the Indian Sports Chief. But let's take a look at the specs real quick. The power plant on this bike is an air-cooled Thunderstroke 116 engine. It's got, and although they're not really my favorite, although I wish they would have put some ape hangers on this thing, it's got a 6.5-inch machined risers, and quite honestly, they felt alright. It felt good. I mean, it just looks weird on the side of the bike. I feel, in my personal opinion, I feel like risers just don't give it the look, the aggressiveness that you would get from ape hangers. You know, it looks like a mini ladder. And I mean, I know some models of the Sports Chief actually come with risers that are taller. I don't know. I feel like the bike would have been great with some ape hangers, but enough about that. And as far as the suspension goes, it's got Fox piggyback rear shocks and KYB inverted front forks. This bike rode great. Coming to the stops, in and out of stops, you know, was a breeze. It was easy. I didn't have to give much braking power at all. The bike does have dual disc brakes with Brembo brake pads on them, so you know, stopping was a breeze. You know, some bikes, I've been on some bikes, and trying to get them to come to a stop was a little bit more of a hassle than actually, you know, just it made me not want to stop on some of these bikes because you have to really give it some force, or the brakes are too tight. You know, you give it that little brake power and it kind of jerks. You kind of feel like you're gonna fall over, or the bike kind of feels like it wants to fall forward. That wasn't a problem with this bike. This bike was super smooth on the braking, super smooth on the handling. This bike also comes with a quarter fairing, which is a new designed quarter fairing from Indian. It's got a 6.5-inch windscreen for protection and more of an aggressive look. It has a contrast cut lightweight alloy 19-inch front wheel and a 16-inch rear wheel. I do like the look. I didn't mention that on the Rogue, but the Rogue also has the 16 in the rear and the 19 in the front. And honestly, I love that look on these bikes. I love that look with the bigger wheel in the front, and the way it kind of like sits up. It just gives it more of an aggressive, stylish look, in my opinion. And out of factory, it comes with some Pirelli Night Dragon tires, which, you know, we all know Pirelli's Night Dragon is a great tire. It's a great tire, honestly. Let's get back to the riser. It's a gloss black 6-inch moto style riser with machine highlights, and it comes standard. It comes standard with the bike, so there's no need to upgrade that. I mean, again, honestly, I would rather have some mini apes, so I would probably go and pick up some good sized mini apes. The Thunderstroke 16, it comes with 112. The Thunderstroke 116 V twin. This one's air cooled, not water cooled, like the Rogue and the bobbers. It has 120 foot-pounds of torque, and it's got a six gearbox, a 6-gear gearbox, I should say. And it gives you the power you know, according to the commercial. And honestly, I'm not gonna say that that's not true, because this bike really has got some power. It leaves everything in your way behind, you know. So yeah, this bike was a great ride. I honestly, if I had one nitpick about this bike besides the riser, and like I said, that's just a preference, and it really doesn't make a difference, because when I was riding the bike, the riser felt no different than Mini Apes on a road glide or a street glide or anything. I just personally don't like the way it looks. Honestly, that's just my preference with it. But back to what I was gonna say. The only other thing on this bike that I did not like was that it has mid controls. I know. Mid controls are better for controls. You have more control over the bike with mid controls. I understand that, and I understand why they did it. But I just like more controls. Honestly, I like to feel like I'm leaned back. I like to feel, you know, chill. That's me though. That's just my preference. The bike does come equipped with cruise control, which is a nice touch. It does have heated grips. That's also a really good touch. And honestly, I was kind of weirded out at first, because I was like, why are my hands? I've never had heated grips on a bike, but you know, when I was holding on to the handlebars, I was like, man, why are my hands warm? What's going on? I was so confused. But it was after I got used to it and I figured out that they were heated grips, it was great. Obviously, this bike does also come equipped with touchscreen navigation. It comes with a full touchscreen display. You can track your bike statistics, the heat, the mileage. You can track small information, and it does have full Navi. It does connect to your bike, and it also works as your speedometer. And it has that real nice plastic analog look for your speedometer. So this bike was overall great. I did love the experience. I love riding the Sports Chief. I do recommend it. You know, nothing serious on that note. Next bike. Now let's get to it, guys. The last bike of the video, my personal favorite of the entire demo day, the Indian FTR Carbon. This bike is just absolutely gorgeous. It has an amazing finish that comes courtesy of a premium stitched seat and carbon fiber components throughout. Every time you get on this bike, you're just gonna be blown away, not only by its beauty, but by the fact that at the heart of this FTR is a 120 horsepower, high revving, liquid cooled, all-American V-twin engine. And you heard me right, that is 120 HP, 1,200 cc's, 87 pounds of torque. This bike has 3 ride modes: Sport, Standard, and Rain. It has lean angle sensitive stability control, ABS, traction control, wheelie mitigation, and pre-cornering. And if your inner hoon wants to come out and play, traction control and wheelie mitigation are easily disabled, guys. It's got Metzler Sport Tech rubber that obviously just hugs the ground like no other wheel out there. It's got Öhlins fully adjustable suspension to help dial in that ride just the way you want it. You want to bring it down a little bit? Do it. You want to pick it up a little bit? Do it. The FTR is just fully adjustable to its rider. The FTR is just so well balanced. It's so thoughtfully constructed. The leans, the flickability, the stopping power, everything about this bike was just so much fun. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is my very first time ever even sitting on a sports bike. And honestly, I don't know if I want to sit on another sports bike. I'm looking at picking up a second bike, and and it might just be an Indian FTR, and it might just be the Carbon, because this bike was just, it was just a hell of a ride, guys. But enough of my fanboying. Let's get to the stopping power. As far as stopping power, this bike has a fully adjustable 43mm upside down front fork and a single exposed shock. It's got massive brembo brakes, 4-piston monoblock calipers that grab dual 320mm rotors. They're specifically tuned for the best control and braking. Stoppies are also optional and only 2 fingers away, if you're wondering. This bike is made to whom? This bike is made to play. This is not a cruiser, guys. This is not your run-of-the-mill bike. This bike is ready to play. This bike is ready to fly. It was such a blast riding this bike. Out of all of the bikes, you know, like I said at the beginning, I have a bias towards the Bobbers and the Scouts, because the Scouts are great. They're fantastic bikes. Honestly, between the Scout and the FTR, there's no other reason to pick up anything else in the Indian lineup. But, you know, that's just me. I'm not a fan of baggers. I'm not a fan of giant fairings. And I like my bikes naked, which is exactly what the FTR is. It is a naked sports bike that's ready to play. It's lightweight, it's fun, it's flickable, it can do stoppies, it can do wheelies right out of the factory. This bike is just overall great. And just like the other bikes in the FTR or in the Indian lineup, it's got the 4-inch touchscreen, and I know I haven't mentioned this yet, but their touchscreens are powered by Ride Command. They're modern looking, they're modern functional, class leading industry first 4-inch touchscreen powered, you know, display. It shows you everything you need to know, your bike statistics, your heat, it gives you your speedometer, it gives you everything. You want Navi, it's got Navi. You want phone hookup, it's got phone hookup. It's got everything you need and more, guys. But, you know, I'm gonna stop talking about this bike already, because if I keep talking about this bike, I'm never going to stop. So we're gonna go ahead and end the video here. I want to stop and take a minute and just thank everybody for coming by, checking out my video. I want to stop everybody for all the support, all the love. Thank you to all my community that came to YouTube to watch this video. Thank everybody for all the support. I hope to see all of you guys in my future videos. If you enjoyed the video today, if you enjoyed watching me, I know I could have done better, guys, but you know what? This is my first video. We're going to learn, we're going to grow. So if you can stick with us, do me a favor. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, you know, give me feedback, tell me what I did, tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't, drop a comment. I appreciate it. I love all of you guys, and I'll be seeing y'all next time. Peace.